And welcome back to Success Made to Last. I'm Rick Tocchini. This is one of those special shows where we've got an entrepreneur on who is helping entrepreneurs, I believe. And his name is Kyle Lippincott. And before we talk to Kyle, we just want to thank our great sponsor of this show, Edward Jones Financial Advisors, for their wonderful support over the long haul. And also Gracefully Yours greeting cards. And you can go to gracefully-yours.com today. And just by listening to this show, you can get 25% off any of their great greeting cards. Just plug in the promotional code 4WORD. That's the number 4 in Word. All right, here's Kyle Lippincott, founder of DIY Kit Creations, a graduate of Stockton University. And he's been doing this in the Philadelphia area since October of 2017. So this isn't his first rodeo, folks. And since I've gotten to know him through his agency and LinkedIn, now he's sporting this great looking beard. So he looks like a model of some sort. It's great to have you on. Welcome, Kyle, to Success Made to Last.
Hi, Rick. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
You bet. Tell us your backstory.
Yeah, so I grew up, started out at Drexel University and then moved on to Stockton. I studied business and healthcare law. I spent a lot of time getting ready to go to law school, actually, multiple years getting ready to go to law school. But I decided it wasn't the right fit. And thinking back to my childhood, I had always been very entrepreneurial. I had a web design company. When I was 4 years old, I was selling sodas out of a wagon to my neighbors on the street. And I just kind of had a bug bite, metaphorically speaking, when I was about to go to law school, and I felt the need to want to try something on my own, felt that it was a good time to maybe take a risk while I was young, and started brainstorming business ideas. So I can get into the nitty gritty of DIY Kit Creations if you'd like.
Please do. That's a nice transition. What happened? When did the light bulb go on?
Well, I worked for a big box retailer, and I saw what I actually wanted to do is I wanted to make a website to, in a way, it sounds funny to think back now, but to kind of compete against them in their beauty section. I had a little bit of experience just reselling and shipping beauty products before, and I knew it was easy to do, easy to ship, and set up the whole e-commerce side of things. So I ended up going to a trade show in New York City in 2017. It wasn't until a few days before the trade show, as I was doing my research, that I noticed that it was a raw material trade show. So there weren't many finished products there. And I pivoted. So I ended up going to this trade show, meeting some of the vendors. And it was there that I met one of the vendors. They were selling a lip gloss base gel, or I should say a product that was used in lip gloss. And I was just looking up to see what people were using it for. It seemed like a lot of people were trying to purchase it to make their own lip gloss. And I saw an opportunity and figured that I could maybe take these raw ingredients, combine them together, and make it more readily accessible for a lot of consumers to kind of get an idea of what goes into their cosmetic products and how that whole process works.
Very good. I know that there's trade shows of all sorts, and they probably have waned since COVID, but a raw materials trade show, what else did you see there?
Well, if I'm being honest, for me, it was pretty boring because I had no knowledge of the industry. Well, I shouldn't say no knowledge, but very little knowledge of the industry at the time. There were a lot of pigments, like raw pigments, raw ingredients, a lot of oils. This was late 2010. So like hemp oils and CBD oils were becoming big at the time. A lot of shows still have large sections of those. But you are right, though. It's been tough. I've been to one show since the start of the pandemic, and it's a very different feel than it was in 2017. I'll tell you that. A lot more cautious attendees and exhibitors.
I bet so. So what makes DIY kit creations different?
So part of our main core focus and vision is to empower other entrepreneurs, kind of spark that entrepreneurial spirit in some people, and not only from a business standpoint, from an artistic, also from a creativity or an artistic standpoint as well, to really let people express their creativities in their own products and give them the ability to maybe make a color that nail polish color that they haven't been able to find in many years, even like recreate it. Mm-hmm. And I always emphasize one of our core values that we try to keep, I shouldn't say try, but we do keep our ingredient suppliers within the United States to kind of give people that assurance that what they're putting on their skin and their bodies is professional quality and it's safe and it's easy to use.
Very good. If we were to talk to one of your customers today, why would they say that they love buying from you and working with you?
One of the biggest points of feedback that we get from so many customers is that they're astonished at the quality of the product. And there are a lot of other competitors out there, even some that existed before we came into play, that use slightly lower quality ingredients. Maybe, I don't want to say they're all from overseas, a lot of them are, but people are astonished with the quality of the ingredients. For instance, the nail polish dries very quickly. People's fingers, it lasts a long time. And again, like I said before, the color possibilities are virtually endless. So that's something that's really fun for people to do with family and friends in group settings.
Yeah, I love that. That's good. It's something has to differentiate your company from others, and if it's colors or quality of product, then that's fantastic. Advice to other entrepreneurs that are trying to start a company. What is the optimal number of SKUs that you should carry if you were just starting out in a particular category? Is your philosophy now crawl before you walk before you run?
I have limited experience, but in my limited experience, I would definitely advocate to have a crawl before you walk approach to it. We started with 2 to 5 SKUs, and we're still our core products, our main 3. We have 2 kits, third's coming out, so we'll only have 3 core products, and our total number of SKUs, I think we're 4 years into business, it's still in the dozens. And I would definitely recommend starting out slowly, maybe not in all cases, but it's a lot more easier to manage the stress, and it's easier to find partners who are willing to work with you on a smaller scale. And again, in my experience, just because it's easier for them to learn about you and what you do when you're at a smaller scale.
Yeah, good advice. What about the millions of employees of Fortune 500 companies? And we're not all going to say that they're bored and unhappy, but there was a survey that came out recently that said that 89% of the 39 million people in corporate America are unhappy. For those that dream about wanting to own their own company, would you suggest that they try it as a serious side hustle before jumping off the Thelma and Louise cliff?
That is a good question. And I think being an entrepreneur is all about trial and error. So taking a leap of faith is one part of it. But you also need to be honest with yourself in a sense that you need to ask yourself if you're ready for all of the ups and downs. Are you ready to be disappointed just as often as you are enthusiastic and ecstatic? Because in a regular corporate job, there are those ups and downs, but not to the extent of being an entrepreneur. So you can't be worried about making mistakes so much as you need to accept them and take full accountability for when you do make mistakes, because that's how you really earn the respect of your partners and others. So it's been said many times before, but learning from your mistakes is probably one of the not only learning, but taking responsibility as well is one of the biggest pieces of advice I could give to anybody wanting to start a company or thinking about starting a company.
Mm. If you were to gauge your own happiness level of working for someone else versus running your own enterprise, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 on this October 26th, given that happiness goes up and down?
I think most of the time I'm in a happy medium. I saw a chart before. It's hard to describe over an audio only podcast, but I saw a chart. It's kind of like a squiggly line with the ups and downs. And as you get more into running a company or further along, those ups and downs become way more pronounced. And I have to say that it feels very, very true in that sense. But it really also depends on your partners, not only working for somebody else, but if you do have your own company, who you partner with, maybe not only directly partner with, but co-packers and contractors. It really depends on the chemistry that you have and the mutual vision. And I think it could vary greatly depending on who you're working with and who's helping.
That's right. The message in there for you entrepreneur wannabes is that you don't necessarily start off with a solo flight. You've got to surround yourself with great people and team players. And if you're going to be distributing something, you go to a third-party logistics, which is another unit. So you don't go out and build warehouses on your own. You want to comment on why it's important to be a choosy business owner and work with only people that energize you versus drag you down?
Yeah, I think there's a great lesson in energy there. And it is, of course, important to surround your people with positive energy. And I don't by that mean people who are always upbeat, because in some ways that could be very discouraging as well. But people who are realistic and tend to be optimistic, but also realistic at the same time, more so looking at the glass half full, because I think that that's the best way to remain productive and keep your eyes focused on your goals.
Yeah, well said. All right, Kyle, we're almost at the home stretch here, and we're going to take a commercial break, and I'm going to let you take this commercial for your company. So tell our listeners about where they can locate your wonderful product and become a possible customer.
Yep, we sell our products directly from our website, which is DIYkitcreations.com, and we ship them straight to your door from New Jersey.
From Berlin, New Jersey, correct?
That's right.
Excellent. And these are cosmetic making kits. Is that aptly describe them?
That is, yep. You can make your own lip gloss and nail polish kit from the comfort of your own home. They're ingredient kits. Again, they get shipped straight to your door. Great presents for the holidays, birthday presents, group projects, you name it.
What would you say is your targeted demographic?
It varies. So there are a lot of families with younger children, but adults use it as well. We emphasize that professional quality. So we have a lot of mid-30s bachelorette parties do the nail polish together. Children, teenagers with their parents, families. They're very popular during the pandemic when everybody was initially stuck at home, but they still do kind of. They're good to do with families around the holidays, birthday parties, even by yourself if you wanted to.
Very good. What have you learned about yourself as a business owner and leader as a result of the last 18 months during the pandemic?
You definitely need to be resourceful. There's a lot of unknowns still going on to this day with supply chain. And as I had mentioned earlier, we had a great year, knock on wood, through the pandemic. And as soon as the vaccines started rolling out and people started going out more and the mandates were lifted, we had a pretty big drop in sales. And again, going back to those up and downs. So it's been exacerbated, I think, through the unknown or the period of unknown where those ups and downs are even more those hills and valleys are even more pronounced. And going into the future, it's all about being prepared for both ends of those hills, but also being able to adapt, because at some point things are going to change, and you need to be pretty much on your toes, ready to handle what comes your way.
Through all of that, did the consumer's pain point ever change from your perspective? And if so, did you change your message up to your customers?
I don't think we did. We really actually made an effort to double down on the message and what we're trying to provide to our customers as an opportunity. And more so because this is something that a lot of people do at home, even if they aren't or weren't able to spend the time initially with their friends or somebody else who they share with outside of their households. Back, at least during the height of the pandemic, it's still an activity. Our values haven't changed. It's still an activity that we encourage people to do, even if they want to do it by themselves or just with close family members, giving them that creativity, letting them be able to share it online too. Social media is a big hit with a lot of our customers as well.
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right, just a couple more questions for you to wrap up this show. We continue to study a couple of key themes here. One is sonic strategy, which is the sound of a brand. And people tend to remember brands for sound and for their physical logo. I bet you wouldn't expect this question today on Success Made to Last, but here goes. What do you think is the sound of DIY kit creations?
Our brand, we're trying to focus and give customers that perception that they're going to have creative freedoms when they pick up one of our products. Maybe not even just from a lip gloss or a nail polish or a cosmetic kit from that point, but we're also trying to expand our product line into glitters. So we just picked up a bunch of new biodegradable glitters as well, trying to transition from traditional plastic glitters into ones that break down in the environment once they're washed down the sink. And so that's what we want to focus our brand on, is providing customers with experiences and ingredients that they feel good about using and feel good about putting on their skin, and what happens to those ingredients after they're done and when they're done using our product.
That's too linear of an answer, Captain Lippincott. I said, what is the sound? Is there a song or a sound? People laughing, people being together and using your product? What is the actual sound of your company?
Are you looking for a something that is, I want to say physical, but like a chime almost?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know, like the classics today are NBC, that still uses the GEC, and the McDonald's, which has that familiar sound, and you'll actually hear people humming it as they walk out, and they're 10 pounds heavier, I might add. So I'm just wondering if you had, if there's a sound, and it sounds like that your product makes people happy. So maybe it's laughter.
Yeah, I could definitely say that it's laughter. We don't have a chime, but that could be something that is on the horizon, because I do think that sounds are very prevalent, not prevalent, but powerful modes of communicating, especially like the McDonald's, like you said, the NBC chime. But I can definitely see the benefit with having a chime in business.
Very good. All right, last question for you is help us redefine what success means in 2022.
So in 2022, to me, and what I tell other people, success is all about what you want out of your entrepreneurial ventures, not even just from an entrepreneurship standpoint, but being able to focus on your customers, especially in the age of the internet, when so many people, it's so easy to find out what customers want and what customers are complaining about. And shouldn't say what customers want, because that could be a difficult thing to find at times, but what they want out of your products and what they want as a value in the business that you make. So one of the things that I like to tell everyone is to focus on customers, but don't take what groups of people say as black and white. Always keep your mind open and ready to adapt, because sometimes what a group of people say could be right or correct, or the most successful thing to do one day, but overnight that can change very quickly and easily.
Very good. Well, listen, it's been fun having you on. You should come back on once a year to give us an update on your enterprise.
That would be great.
Keep us posted on what's going on and what you've learned, what you continue to learn from other entrepreneurs as well. But I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to be with us. And again, you want to give out your website one more time so people can connect with you today.
Sure. Yep. Again, you can get your own ingredient kits to make lip gloss and nail polish at DIYkitcreations.com. We do have some new biodegradable glitters that are coming within the next couple of weeks. And it's been a pleasure being here. It was a fun interview, Rick. Yeah,
it sure was. I appreciate it. And folks, we appreciate you joining us for these fun shows. And we hope that especially you entrepreneurs are learning from these one-on-one conversations with people that have, put their time and fortune on their company and this deep belief that their company is going to work. And it does take a lot of work, but we think that, by you taking this step too, you can do what we always say at the end of every show, which is to move from ordinary to extraordinary. So we hope you guys have a great week. Join us again. And again, thanks to Edward Jones for their sponsorship. Have a good week.